Hello, I go by Vandrin everywhere online, and I'm the creative director and dungeon master here for RoleThis. I wanted to take a moment to introduce our very first episode airing on YouTube, just because we had a few issues in the first stream. And this recording is not what you guys should expect going forward. What you should expect going forward is something that lasts a lot longer. We're aiming to be about 2 hours to 3 hours long each night that we air, which is Mondays at 7 p.m. Central. So we should be over by about 10 p.m. Central each week. And we're going to be a lot more in-depth, a lot more focused, and centralized a lot more around just zeroing in on our campaign. With the internet issues that we had for our very first episode, it was very difficult for us to get in the zone, get into the story, get character voices down, and all the things that we really wanted to do. However, we're extremely appreciative of everybody that stuck it out with us. We had over 50 viewers in our very first stream, even while everything was breaking. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And without further ado, here's what we have for the very first episode of RoleThis. So, supposedly we're here now! Is it still working, Zach?
I think so.
The wombat.
Does it say live in that little thing?
I see it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we're there.
Hello. Thank you guys for putting up with all of that.
It says live.
I am at my wit's end here, but we are currently working, so you know, let's be happy here. Yeah, we are actually live. Supposedly, you guys can hear me. Here we are. I'm actually normally I won't be looking at chat, but I am right now just to verify that everything's functional. All 30 of you that are here, I love you for putting up with this. It's been so stressful trying to get this started. Also, you will see me often looking up like this. I have a monitor mounted here above the actual camera that's in front of me. So half the time when I'm actually talking to you guys, I'll be talking up like this, like a weirdo. So, but anyways, starting to grow into here, and I really, again, just cannot stress enough how much I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna start over with my intro and go from there. I take it from the top scenario. So you can go ahead and just leave it on the same screen, Wombat. But we will. I'm just going to talk from here. So
I'm afraid to break something if I drum roll.
You guys couldn't hear me before, but the way I started it was, hello, and welcome to the first episode of RoleThis. It has been a disaster so far, but it's good now. And hopefully it stays that way. We've had some network issues, we've had some hardware issues, all the issues you could possibly have. It's better to have them on the first episode than the 30th episode, so we'll hope that everything's fixed going forward. Thank you so much for those of you that did put up with all that. Thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate you guys being here, and really appreciate the level of support you guys have shown us over the past week. It's been absolutely mind-blowing to see how much growth we've gotten in 1 week's time prior to even airing a single episode. So it's been absolutely amazing, and thank you guys so much for that. But an introduction of myself. My name is Cody. I go by Vandrin everywhere online. I'm sure you guys have seen me in Discord, Twitter, and stuff like that as you've been popping in. And Vandrin is based off of a character that I came up with years ago. It's a half-elf ranger, and he was the first character I ever played in Dungeons & Dragons myself. So tonight we're going to be delving into the world of Urson, which is a world that I've been coming up with my entire life without ever knowing that I'd be able to bring other people into it or put it on the internet. I really thought maybe I would write a book someday or something along those lines, but I never really expected this. I knew what Dungeons & Dragons was as far as that it existed, and it was a game where you bought a bunch of books and rolled dice, but I never really got into it when I was younger, even though I loved reading fantasy books and watching movies like Lord of the Rings, things along those lines. But it was just never something that I dove into or tried to learn or anything like that until earlier last year, about this time, stumbled across Critical Role and was hooked instantaneously. After that, I tried finding a group. It took me a while. It took me a few months before I was actually able to find anybody that was interested in playing at all. And what that was just a guy from work heard me talking about D&D, and he's like, hey, we're going to do a game. You want to jump in on it? So I did. And that group was all the guys that work at Circean Studios. Currently, they're developing Kansui Fighter, and that's why they are not here. Because it ended up, they were interested in being on the show. We were going to do things like that, but they ended up having to focus so much on that game, which you guys should definitely go check out because it's a phenomenal mobile fighting game. Available currently on Android, I believe. And I know they're working on PC and iOS and all that stuff. Will be released very soon. So definitely go check them out because they're the ones that got me into this, showed me my first game, and instantaneously after trying it out, I was hooked. So falling in love with it and then being able to get another group of entirely new people together that are all, again, friends from work. They've jumped on and taken a hold of this crazy idea I came up with of putting our game on the internet. So we're going to get that rolling here. And I don't know if you guys were able to hear their introductions previously. I don't have the chat up again, so I can't verify that. But I'm just going to restart everything, do a full reset. But one more reminder, if you didn't gather from the story that I did say there, I've been DMing for like a week. So we did, what was it, a month ago or so?
Yeah,
we did our first
Yes.
actual one-shot. And that was the first time I'd ever DM'd. So there's a good chance that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that's totally a thing. And it's totally not a thing. But we're just going to roll with it and see where we go.
You say
so
it, and therefore it's
because
a
of that,
It's a
exactly.
home run,
So keep that in mind while we go. This is our game. This is my world. So there may be stuff that doesn't make sense that's intentional. And then there may be stuff where I'm like, oh, crud, I meant to do it this way. That's going to happen. So just be prepared for that. Please be patient and don't yell at me too much on Twitter. But anyways, players, would you like to introduce yourselves again?
I am Hillary. I go by Phoenix Talon online, and I will be playing Mazakeen, your tiefling cleric.
Hi, I'm Bobby. Go by Sorman online. But for this, I'll be playing Kellet Struts, the Dragonborn Paladin.
And I'm Robert, and I will be playing Bryn, the human druid.
Very nice. All right. So, here we go. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Of course.
Roll some
Yes.
dice.
Okay, so the city of Feldar is a small stone-walled city located near the Aran River, about 50 miles north of Edgewater, near the base of the Cloudspire Mountains. Each of you has received a letter requesting your presence and requesting your services. One by one, each of you have arrived at the designated meeting house and entered to find a round table with 4 chairs, 3 of which are just regular chairs, and 1 is a little more ornate. Sitting on the table in front of each of the 3 standard chairs rests a wooden plate with warm meat, potatoes, and bread, with a basic wooden goblet and a set of utensils. The fireplace is lit, its warmth fills the home, chasing away the evening chill as winter still clings on, spring begins to burst forth. And first we have Mazakeen. We've arrived after a long journey from the east, headed across the Golden Sea, which is the farmlands of this world, this continent specifically. You've arrived, no trouble really. You're waiting. Next up, you see a man walk in, dressed in dark leathers. You can tell he's someone who's spent a lot of time in nature, has been kind of unaccustomed to city life. So he's kind of looking around, trying to just get a sense of things. Lastly, walking through, tall dragonborn, white scale, silvery white scales. Steps in, and you guys are now all in the house. What do you want to do?
I'll speak first. Did you all receive the same letter to meet here at this time?
I've got mine right here.
Oh, okay.
Is there a seal on the letter?
So
is it
it's been opened. So for you specifically, you were sent out by the Bright Blades They received this letter, and it was requesting just a member of the Bright Blades to come out. And so you were the one that was chosen to be sent forth, and you are now here. I didn't know anywhere else to put that, but yeah. So
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, you were initially just kind of chosen from the ranks and sent forth. So you've been able to read the letter and everything. It did have a small seal on it. Just a red standard stamped seal, nothing special.
I can't tell anything about it.
Yeah.
Special. Okay.
Right. It didn't have anything specific on there. It was just plain, which almost kind of stands out as odd to you. Like, why would I get something that's wax sealed with no seal? So that was kind of
right. So I take it you didn't invite me. Did you invite me? Someone needs a paladin.
I say this seemed very urgent, so I thought they needed help, a cleric or something, so I just sort of arrived.
Okay. Well, what brings you here?
Roughly the same as you, I suppose. This letter.
Well, I guess since we're all here at someone's invitation, I see table of. Shall we eat?
I've been traveling pretty far, and it does look warm.
Not accustomed to sitting in strange places and eating food I don't know the origin of.
Suit yourself. Sit down.
Okay.
I sit as well.
And Brandon, what will you be doing?
I'm standing off by myself.
Okay. Just completely avoiding it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do we see anyone else in here? And clearly someone served the food. Is there a keep or anyone?
You could make a perception check.
Okay.
See if you see anybody or
I shall
anything that stands
attempt
out.
to. That was an 8.
8.
Yes.
Plus.
Let's see.
Yeah, plus.
Where's that at? Where's my perception at?
It's
skill list. P and skill list.
Plus 9.
9.
Yes.
All right.
Not much better.
For you, it's a house. It was stone on the outside, kind of a facade type of scenario. Inside, it's just dark woods. You've got the fireplace is all built up with heavy, thick, dark stones. A big dark wood mantle set across the top. There's nothing sitting on top of it or anything like that. It's very plain in here, kind of barren almost. There's a couple boxes stacked up in the corner, and like a entryway table that's got just like standard brass handles on it. Nothing that's really ornate or expensive looking other than the chair. There's one chair, and it looks like it doesn't belong. It's had some carvings in it. It almost has kind of not like a shine, but kind of like a shine. Not a shine like metal, but like kind of a wooded shine to it.
Nice
and the
glossy
carvings
stain.
on it are all just kind of like filigree.
Okay.
They just kind of spin and swirl around over the top. It's kind of a higher backed chair. So kind of just a weird chair sitting there.
I'll just continue to sit, but I will not touch the food.
Okay. Perfect. Now you just diving in.
I mean, I'm hungry.
Nice. Cool.
I've been on a journey.
Yeah.
Did anyone let me in, or did I just walk in, or was it on the letter?
So it was
This is just a standard
yeah, we
inn.
just
You're just welcomed in. So it's a house. It's not an inn or a tavern or anything like that. It's just a random house
Okay.
that you were specifically directed towards with a small little map of like once you hit the front of Feldar, then you would go in these streets and you'd end up here.
Right.
It actually kind of avoids any of the major like popular places. So like the inns and taverns would be kind of over more towards like the northeast, and this is kind of southwest side. So it's just kind of out of the way.
Okay, so it's not an estate or anything. It's just a house.
Nope, just a house that's
Okay.
built right along a street.
All right. Yeah.
There's
I
a
mean,
bunch of other similar ones.
someone invited us here. And I'm just some random knight of my order. I don't think anyone's here to assassinate me. So
So you're devouring food.
I'm going to eat the food.
All right. Well, what happens to you is absolutely nothing because it is just really good food.
Delicious.
It's just absolutely delicious. It's warm still. You have no idea how long it's been there, but it's still warm. and it smells amazing. It's like when you haven't eaten for a while and you go get just that one thing that you're craving. It's that kind of feeling when you start eating it.
Oh, this is really good. You guys should eat this. No, okay. Anyone know when our host is getting here?
The letter doesn't say.
I have no idea who they are.
Hello. I think we're here. I think we're all here.
Did the letter ever mention like that we're meeting people, like that we're part of a group?
Yeah, so it said that it's gathering together a band of adventurers to come out and deal with a situation in the city of Feldar. So it's something that requires greater skill than they have, as their city watch wasn't able to take care of it. So they've called you guys out to come and handle something. But you don't know what yet.
Okay.
So you're still standing off to the side, still kind of by the door even, not even like really coming in, are you?
Right, yeah.
Okay. And then you're
I'm just sitting
down,
here
but just
watching
kinda
him
like,
eat this.
I don't know about this whole scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I have to open your guys' character sheets because I forgot to do it beforehand. So I'm gonna real quick.
So
do that.
unprepared.
Yeah, I know. You know, all the other stuff going on.
So what's your name?
Bryn.
Bryn? What are you doing over there?
Whatever I want.
That's fair. Where do you hail from?
Where did I hail from? So you came from a place that, wow, for some reason I just forgot. I wrote it down 40 times earlier today because I was making the map. You are from the Shifting Forest, which is the woods that surround Feldar. So Feldar's up kind of in the northern end of the continent of Anadar. So you're up north. The woods kind of go from like the western coast. And they come around and then kind of like in a rather large clearing area is where Feldar is. And then you have the Aran River coming down from the Cloudspire Mountains, and it kind of comes near Feldar and then arcs away and then comes back down towards Edgewater, which is the northern kind of port city. And then on the far western edge of the Cloudspires is kind of where the Shifting Forest ends as well, and that's where Earseal is. So you kind of know that as a major city.
I hail from the Shifting Forest.
I've heard of these plays. You, what's your name?
Mazakin. You could call me Maze. It's much easier for people.
Maze?
Maze.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm Gellert Struts. Where are you from, Maze?
Oh, just a small little village. Really no name has been told. It's been nothing no one really knows of.
It's just a series of hovels.
Oh, yes.
Well, I come from Marikos, which is a port city down south. Have you probably heard of it? You've probably heard of it.
Nope.
It's fine. You're from the forest anyway.
I
Grew up there.
Do that much.
Was actually appointed as a squire for a night, and then was actually raised in the order. So that's me in a nutshell.
It is.
This food really is divine. Like,
Well, you
It's
have a big
so
appetite. Here,
good.
you could have mine. I'm good, really.
Eat up.
I'm glad you like it.
all the
You hear a voice from the chair. I was hoping that more of you would partake, but that's fine. And slowly coming into your vision, sitting in the chair, kind of leaned back, just watching you guys like they've been there the entire time, is a male drow. He has the kind of, the traditional gray skin, stark white long hair pulled back. He's wearing like a white hooded robe with the hood down, and on his arms he has golden bracers. His neck and down the front of the robe is a really ornate golden like embroidery. and he has a massive gold ring with a garnet set into it on his right hand. He's just watching you guys.
Hello. Were you the one who gave us this letter?
I was. Thank you for coming so quickly. I was surprised that you got here this fast. We have a bit of an issue here, and I have been tasked with finding people worthy of dealing with it. So, I've heard a few of your stories and strengths, where you're from, I'm well aware of, and I think you guys will be good for this. There's been some disappearances, and the City Watch is at its wit's end. They're unable to figure anything out past people are going missing. It started with livestock. There was a little bit of livestock issue where an ox was taken down but not taken away, and then goats went missing, a few chickens, nothing of any real importance. But then a small child disappeared. Of course, as is wont with these things, caused a bit of an uproar for a while, but unfortunately the child was never found. There were groups of individuals that went out into the woods to the east, and they looked around, but they found nothing of any significance, just standard animal tracks. And then one group went out and was rather confident that they would find what they were looking for. They thought they were going to, they were onto something. As they traveled out, everyone was considering it a lost cause. They'd be back in a few days, and they never came back either. Then we started noticing paths through the woods, coming down from the mountains. They were not made by humans or elves or dwarves. It was some kind of creature that had left a smooth trail up on the northeastern side of town. I would like for you guys to go out and explore this area. See what you can find. See if you can track down whatever this beast may be and dispatch of it. Upon doing so, I am prepared to reward you with a handsome sum of gold each and possibly more work, if you would be so inclined. Do you accept?
Well, this is taking people and children. As a cleric, I feel I must go.
I care not for the city's troubles or your paltry trinkets, but I am interested in seeing what this creature is and what it's capable of.
Fair enough.
If it is a threat to this world and in this forest, then as a druid, I must needs take care of it.
We appreciate your services. And you, Knight.
I have my orders.
As expected. Well, rest up this evening. Start in the morning. Good luck. And he disappears. And you hear nothing after he disappears.
Well,
I said neat.
Did you say neat?
Might as well. Why start an adventure starving?
eat up.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll want to eat up as well.
I'll just take a little bit back.
I'm full.
Okay. As it didn't make you sick, I shall go ahead and eat it. So you eat. And are there chambers for us to rest in the house? Because he said rest up, and he's just gone. Okay.
Yeah, so you didn't notice before, but behind the boxes, there are 3 beds kind of set up just like cots.
Okay.
Basic. Nothing fancy.
Okay.
Just sufficient, basically. It's
Okay.
kind of the overall theme of the inside of this place. It's like it hasn't been lived in for a while, and possibly this elf has come in and just been like, that's a good spot to start. Bought it up, put some stuff in to make it functional so that he could give you guys this message.
Okay.
Brandon prefers to camp outside.
Perfect. Are you going all the way outside of
Outside the town.
town? Perfect. And then you two.
Is there a hearth?
Fire, yeah.
Okay.
You're just gonna just curl up right in front of it.
No. I'm going to lay down like this in front of it.
Gold
And then polish my my greatsword.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't take long for that one.
Well,
It needs to be shiny to do the most damage, I know.
shiny swords
Yep.
do the most damage. You heard it here first. Okay, well, as
Ate
a,
in silence and just left.
yeah,
Right.
as a man of the woods, it's not anything for you to be, especially this close to town, out and about, just sleeping under the stars. So you don't find any dangers or anything along those lines, unless you had chosen to search around for anything prior to bedding down. So,
Just enough to make sure the area is secure and safe.
okay. Well, as the sun
Put a
begins
hammock
to
up in the
rise,
trees.
nice. I like that. As the sun begins to rise the next day, you guys are welcome to meet up at the edge of town. There is a small, like,
Guess we didn't establish that before I took off.
yeah, well, kind of. I mean, he said where, like, the generals, but he wasn't specific.
Where
So,
did he go?
yeah, so you would see, like, you come out to the edge of
He
town,
found us.
and I actually misspoke already. So it's the northwest edge of town, where everything's been kind of happening, because northeast is the river.
I feel like I would just go there myself in the morning. I wouldn't try and find these two jokers.
Yeah. So, are you two jokers then going to travel together across the city into?
Let me check my provisions. Don't know how long I'm
Yeah.
going to be owed.
If you need to get anything, this would be a great time to do so.
Yeah, I would like to search around to see if there's anything we can use, since clearly the drow wasn't using it.
Oh, inside the area. Yeah, you could do investigation.
Okay.
Would be a good move on that.
Okay. Oh boy. 7 minus 1. 6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Those boxes are still there. You found the beds, barely,
Okay.
and the table sitting there without any food or anything along those lines.
Is there a well nearby?
Sure. Well, the river's so close that everything would kind of come from the river. So, not necessarily just a well, but there's the river's just
drinking water.
a well. There's kind of like a you wouldn't have just a spot to get it. You would just get it from the river yourself, like with a pail or something, or you would go to somewhere that served water. So like
I just
anywhere
fill
in
my
your
water
house or
scan
whatever.
at the nearest
Perfect.
public access area.
Yep. Perfect.
But yeah, once I do that, I head in the direction. I'm assuming there's a gate over by that side of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You'd
go
be able
to
pop out there.
that gate and try to see if everybody else has arrived.
Okay. On the western edge of the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
And I follow him.
I'm investigating like the tree path.
Okay, yeah. So for you, you would be just did the investigation. Is that the right move?
Would be nature or survival.
Yeah. I was kind of leaning towards
Investigation could be.
It's like survival.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards survival because it's tracking. Which I would think would either be like nature or survival. So we'll go survival.
But well, I guess it would probably depend on what I'm trying to get out of the
yeah.
situation.
What are you then?
So I want to try and figure out what could have caused these tracks.
That would be
That'd be
nature.
nature.
Then.
Nature.
Yeah, I would say so. So if you want to roll on that.
That is a 21.
21. It looks like a snake, but massive.
Massive snake. Like how big are we talking here?
So the trail itself, you can tell because of that roll that it's not the first time that it's come down that path and gone back. It's happened multiple times recently. So like when they were first investigating, it was more of a like sporadic occurrence. But now it's kind of like whatever this creature is, which appears to be serpentine, has just kind of been like, this is easy enough. I'm going to keep coming in this way and just get what I want to get.
Broken down and uprooted.
So there's like...
And that is when the internet died. I went on to explain that while the creature is large, it's not large enough to knock over fully grown trees. It would have uprooted a few small saplings and patted down all the undergrowth. This would have created a smooth path winding in through the forest. Join us this coming Monday, March 11th at 7 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/RoleThis as our adventurers begin their journey down the path. Thank you for watching.